What's going on, YouTube? So we're sitting here with one of BMW's most important products, the X3. And with some stiff competition from German and Asian rivals, we're here today to find out if this is the best luxury compact SUV for you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into that. So we're going to start out this review with our spec dump. What's under the hood of this X3? Well, most X3 models will come in the 30i form, which is a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. That is not what we have today, though. We have the more exciting option, the M40i. That's a 3-liter turbo inline-6 with mild hybrid technology, 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. This thing goes 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. As far as the transmission, you're looking at an 8-speed automatic. You have standard all-wheel drive for the M40i model, and as far as your fuel economy, we're sitting at 23 miles a gallon combined. Now, of course, we're going to take this vehicle out on a test drive, show you all the things that you're wanting to know, including getting our signature sound level reading, which will be published on our website. But first, let's go ahead and dive into the exterior design of this 2023 BMW X3. So starting out with the X3's exterior design, we do have that signature BMW look that we've had for a long time on the X3. So what's that composed of? Well, we do have our signature kidney grills up here in the front. This is going to be a smaller finish than what we've seen in other BMW products like the X7. I do want to point out that we have a special M badge here because we have the sportiest M40i for today's tester. Now, as far as some of the finishes, you'll notice that we have a solid black finish for the M40i. We also have the extended shadow line package, which fully blacks things out. You can also get a silver finish if you prefer that more premium look on the regular X330i model. Now, also, I want to point out, for M40i duty, we have this entire lower diffuser area. It's a lot more aggressive. It actually changes the entire front end design for the X3 when you choose that M40i model. And I have to say, it's looking pretty bad here in person, and I'm talking BHAD kind of bad. Now, as far as the headlights are concerned, I want to talk about this. We have standard LED adaptive headlights, and these are very bright headlights. We actually own a BMW 3 Series. We've tested these out extensively. They are very good headlights, and they are standard on every single model. Now, working our way around to the rear design of this X3, you're not going to see any big changes for the 2023 model year. That's because, of course, it was just refreshed last year. But as far as the overall look, it looks really nice. It's signature BMW in terms of the design. And let's go ahead and check out our taillights and see if all the elements are LED. So we do have an LED brake light portion, LED reverse light, as well as our turn signal indicator. So all the elements are LED on this X3. I really like the way this taillight looks. It has their new 3D design, so there's a lot of different actual 3D shapes going on with this taillight itself. Now, dropping down to this lower area, we do have a really nice body color bumper area. We also have a lot of black accenting. That's because we have the M40i, or if you go for the M Sport model on the X330i, you would also get an aggressive lower diffuser like this. We're also going to have exposed exhaust outlets, and these aren't just any exhaust outlets. These are active sport exhaust outlets for the M40i model. So let's go ahead and take a listen to the awesome exhaust note. Very nice. I love this M40i, and I love this engine, and the exhaust is absolutely phenomenal for a family crossover like this X3. Now let's go ahead and talk about your wheels. Especially for a sporty crossover like this, you need to have good looking designs, and we are going to have those. You have standard 19-inch alloys on every single X3 model. As you can see here, we have a little bit of a larger design. This is a 20-inch contrast alloy wheel. It's only a $600 option, and I really like the way these looks. You can also get a 21-inch alloy wheel if you want to go really big. Now, I also want to point out we have the red painted brake calipers, which really pop against this blue paint color. And then coming up from there, let's talk about your mirrors. Since we have the M40i model, you'll notice we have a different design. This is the BMW M designed mirror. And as far as the functionalities are concerned, we do have every single one of them. Auto dimming, power folding, blind spot monitoring, as well as our turn signal indicator. It's also going to be finished in a gloss black for M40i. Now at this side of the X3, I want to talk about your overall length. We're coming in at 186.2 inches, which is very competitive for this segment of vehicle. We do also have blacked out window surrounds and blacked out roof rails since we have the M40i model. Now, as far as your safety systems are concerned, I want to go ahead and talk about this for those of you who are bad drivers, and I mean BAD drivers, because BMW is throwing in 2 out of your 4 active safety features as standard equipment. That's going to be auto high beam headlights as well as forward emergency braking. If you want the other 2 safety systems, lane keeping assist as well as adaptive cruise control, you will have to go for the driver's assistance professional package. Additionally, that will throw in a new level 2 traffic jam assist if you choose that. But guys, that's going to wrap up the exterior design of this X3. And if you're new here, we're brothers and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars. All right, so let's check out the interior of this X3. Now here's your BMW key fob. This is not their newest key fob design, but it is still a nice key fob. It has a nice interesting shape to it. You have your M colors here on the side as well. And if you want to unlock the vehicle, you just walk up, grab the back of the door handle, and that will unlock it. Now, I do also want to point out you have a digital key system as well as available remote start, which we do have on this model. Now, as far as the interior is concerned, you will see a typical BMW design, which is certainly a good thing because it's a beautifully crafted cabin. But first, let's go ahead and talk about our interior color and material options. Now, you start out with perforated Sensitech leather seats. That's available in black, Canberra beige, cognac, and Tacora red. That's not what we have on today's tester though. We have the optional Vernasca leather, which is also available in similar colors. Black mocha, we have the oyster option, and there is also cognac. Now, as far as your seats themselves, they're going to be a 10-way power adjusting seat with 4-way bolster adjustment, which is what you see right here. Additionally, you do have standard memory seats on the X3. But let's go ahead and hop inside and check out the details of this cabin. And let's talk about the cabin materials with this X3. Like I said, getting in, this is a beautifully crafted cabin, so let's see what materials we have. Up here on the upper part of the door trim, we do have a nice leatherette material with stitching details. We do also have a high gloss wood trim on this particular model. There are a lot of different options if you prefer something else. The rest of the door trim is going to be finished in another nice leatherette in the oyster color. As we head up the dashboard, all of this is actually going to be finished in a nice leatherette as well with the stitching detail going through here. You have a little bit more wood trim through here as well as some aluminum. And then dropping down to your lower areas, this is not going to be padded, and we do have some piano black, but everything in here does feel really, really solid in typical BMW fashion. Now, in order to start the vehicle up, the push button start is located right here. So just put your foot on the brake, press the button to start. And you're going to hear that lovely inline 6 fire up. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the nitty-gritty details of this cabin. We'll start out with our gauge cluster. This is the 12.3-inch Live Cockpit Professional gauge design, and it does have a really nice look to it. It's not the newest BMW design, but it does still look really nice. As you can see, we do have a map there in the middle, as well as our M40i branding. Then coming back, you will also notice that we have a head-up display. That's going to be included in the premium package for this X3, and it's a very nice head-up display. It's not their newest HUD, but it is still very nice. Now, coming back to our steering wheel, you're going to have the special M design steering wheel since we have the M40i model, or if you go for the M Sport. As you can see, this is a very thick rim steering wheel. It feels absolutely wonderful in the hands. You have some nice stitching details going through there. We also have the leather-wrapped airbag cover. Now, as far as other things I want to point out, we do have heating. That's also included in the premium package. Now, the wheel itself is going to be manual tilt and telescoping. Now let's go ahead and talk about interior storage on this X3. This is a family crossover after all, so it does need a good amount of center space. So If we open this up, you'll notice that we have a decent sized center console here. It's not incredibly wide or deep, but it is going to be bigger than something like a Audi Q5, for instance. Of course, you know what we do in every Car Confections review, we bring our coupons. So let's see if they fit in this center console. Now, they're not going to just lay in there exactly right like that. We will have to fold them in half, but they're going to fit in there just fine if we fold them down. Now, moving on up from that, we don't have any storage right through here, but we do have this center tray here. If we pop that open, you'll notice that we have 2 cup holders right here. Additionally, we have a wireless phone charging pad. That's included as a $500 standalone option on the X3. Now, moving back to the shifter, we don't have the newest design as we've seen in some of the other products like the new BMW 3 Series that has a little nub. So some of you might actually like this better, having the full traditional shifter. To put it in drive, you just push the button on the side and pull back. If you go up in reverse, you will find a 360-degree backup camera on this particular model. Of course, you do have a standard regular backup camera. The 360 camera is included in the parking assistance package. So if you want that, you're going to have to option that on. We do also have a few other functions on it. So if we tap this, we can go into a full 3D view and spin all the way around the vehicle, which is really quite neat. This is one of the best 360 cameras in the entire business. Coming back, to put it in park, you just press the P. Off to the side of that, we have our iDrive controller. Additionally, we do have a few other buttons. These are your buttons for your drive mode controls, as well as your auto brake hold and electronic parking brake. And moving up the dashboard, we land at our volume controls. So as far as the audio systems are concerned on this X3, we have a standard 210 watt 12 speaker audio system on every single model. However, on today's example, we have the optional Harman Kardon audio system. You can get this for $875. It's a 16 speaker, 600 watt Harman Kardon audio system. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Sound quality for this audio system is very, very impressive. It has a lot of rich details, so I definitely would recommend going for the upgraded Harman Kardon sound system if you like listening to music a lot. Now, working our way up the dashboard, we also will land at our climate controls. Now, as you can see, this has not moved the climate controls up in the display like what we've seen in the new 3 Series, the BMW X7 and X5. So some of you might actually really prefer this physical design right here, because all of our climate controls are laid out right here with these buttons. Now, as you can see, we do have a standard 3-zone automatic climate control system. So each of the passengers up here can adjust their own temperature, as well as the rear passengers. Additionally, we do have heated rear seats that are also a physical button here on the side. That is included in the premium package, excuse me. And then moving up to the display here, we do have a 12.3-inch display on this particular model. Now, standard is a 10.25-inch display running iDrive 7, but this particular model has the larger 12.3-inch display. As you could just see right there, we did have CarPlay running, so we do have wireless Apple CarPlay as well as wireless Android Auto, so that's a nice feature that we see on this X3 that a lot of people are looking for nowadays. Now, additionally, we do have integrated navigation, and this is going to run very smoothly on this display. Really, the whole system runs very smoothly for this BMW iDrive 7 system. Additionally, it is going to be cloud-based, which is a nice feature, so you can get over-the-air updates. As far as how you control it, you can use the touchscreen as I was just doing. Additionally, you do also have this controller down here if you don't want to get fingerprints on the screen itself. And then moving up, we do have a standard auto-dimming mirror. And you will notice that we have a panoramic moonroof on this model. Now the front portion does open up, and this is a really large panoramic moonroof. It really goes behind the second row of seats, so there's going to be a lot of light in this cabin. This is going to be included in the premium package, or it is standard on the M40i model. Now, one of the reasons you buy the X3 M40i is because you want a little bit of sport, but you also want it to be practical for the whole family. So let's go ahead and dive into this rear area. We're looking at 36.4 inches of leg room, 39.1 inches of headroom. Those are really good figures for this segment of vehicle. It feels very spacious back here. I think particularly the headroom is very impressive, especially when you factor in this giant panoramic moonroof. It really just feels so open, so airy back here. I did bring my bendy ruler, of course, to measure the knee space with the seat adjusted to myself. 5'9" is my height, and we're looking at 8 inches of space between my knees and the seat back. Also, my feet can easily slide up underneath the seat, so very, very comfortable overall in this X3's rear seat. Now, let's talk about the features. Of course, this is a luxury vehicle, so we have standard vents here in the center. We also have standard climate controls, so we can adjust the temperature to whatever we would like here in the rear. Available heated rear seats. We don't have it on this particular model, so I guess I'm just going to keep my icy cheeks because no heated rear seats here. We also have a little storage cubby right here, 2 USB-C ports. We fold down the center armrest here. We have 2 cup holders inside of here. Then let's turn to your door trim. The door trim is going to be made of really nice materials, just like the front. We have leatherette all on the top part, wood trim through the middle. We also have leather through the center, as well as the armrest portion. We have bottle storage down in the very bottom, and really a large storage cubby right behind that. And since a lot of you guys ask, I do want to point out that the rear seats do not recline any further than this. You can sit them a little bit more upright, but this is the furthest recline that you can do. Now, walking up to the tailgate, we do have a hands-free power one, standard on every single X3 model, so just kick your foot under the bumper to open it up. Second time's the charm. And as far as the space is concerned back here in the X3 M40i, 29 cubic feet behind the second row seats. If you fold those down, that expands up to 63 cubic feet as a maximum. If you're curious as to how that compares with some of the rivals, that is going to be larger than the GLC, and it's really one of the largest offerings in the entire segment. That's a very solid amount of space for this category of vehicle. Now, of course, you know I didn't leave home without my measuring tape. I do bendy rulers and I also do measuring tape. So on this channel, we believe in getting the science and the facts right. So let's see how much space there is behind the driver's seat and the rear of the cargo area. 70 inches of space. So that does mean, since an average adult bicycle is 69 inches long, you could fit that in this X3's cargo area. Now, as far as other features, we do have cargo cover up top. As you can see, there are not any handles to fold the seats in the actual cargo area, but reaching up and folding them is not really much of a problem if you're relatively tall. And then as far as the seats themselves, they do fold 40-20-40 split folding, which is a nice touch. If we lift up the cargo floor, we do have a spare tire. That is actually an option that you can get on this X3. Do be aware, though, it impacts the cargo space just ever so slightly. It makes the load floor a little bit higher if you choose for that option. Well, guys, here we are in the X3 M40i. We are incredibly excited to drive this. If you're new to the channel and don't know about Josh, Josh is here helping me out film today. Drew had to stay home and get some work done, so we're out here filming. So welcome Josh to the channel. Say hello to him in the comment section down below. But we're going to be doing a lot of different things in this test drive. We're going to get our signature sound level reading. And let's go ahead and start with the hard acceleration. That's going to be a fun part of this M40i. All right, that's a quick jaunt up to 60 miles an hour in the X3 M40i. Now, this is not your normal X3. As I've said throughout this entire review, the M40i adds a lot of styling elements. It adds some performance bits, but the main thing is what's under the hood. It's going to be a 3-liter turbo inline 6-cylinder with mild hybrid technology. We have 382 horsepower, 369 pound-feet of torque. So you just have really incredible power figures. This thing goes 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. So this is certainly a quick option for your family SUV, that's for sure.
Now, if speed is not what you're craving, then you also have the option of the 30i, which has a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, putting out 248 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, and that has a 0 to 60 of 6 seconds, so not slow at all.
Yeah, we've been behind the wheel of the 30i model several times. It is a perfectly adequate powertrain. The German 2-liter 4-cylinders are very good at what they do, but if you're one of those people that loves the sound of the inline 6, loves a lot of power, you will want to get this M40i model. Now, as far as the other aspect of the powertrain, that's going to be the transmission. It's an 8-speed automatic for this X3 model. That's going to be across the board. We have standard all-wheel drive when you choose the M40i model. If you choose the 30i, you have the option between rear drive or available all-wheel drive. And this transmission is very good. It blends right into the background when you're just casually accelerating. And as you saw there at the beginning with our hard acceleration, it certainly can pop those shifts off very quickly when you're doing a performance acceleration. Now, you probably didn't even notice that the engine was off right there, and that's because of that mild hybrid system. Now, if you heard me at the beginning, I was talking about the engine specs. I said it has a mild hybrid. Now, that's not mainly focused on fuel economy. The main focus is actually when it comes to the auto start stop system. It really just smooths everything out, makes it absolutely imperceptible. One of the best auto start stop systems that money can buy. Also, it helps it to stay off longer. So when you're sitting at a long red light, it's not going to turn back on in 15 seconds to power the air conditioning. So it makes the auto start stop a lot more efficient when you have that mild hybrid. Also, for the M40i, it does actually boost power as well. So it's kind of a dual function for this inline 6-cylinder model, which is really quite nice. Now, we went ahead and put this X3 into sport mode, which is where I think it belongs all the time, especially if you choose this M40i model. Boy, this thing comes alive when it's in sport mode. And the 0 to 60 is just so fast on this. 4.4 seconds. In a family crossover, it's mind-boggling that this powertrain just can get this car moving so fast. But very, very awesome. And also the exhaust is just ratcheted up a notch when you put it in sport mode. It has those burbles that we love. It has the downshift rev matching. It's just so incredibly good when you put it into sport mode. But we're on our designated strip for our sound level test, so I'll put it back into comfort mode and we'll get it going 55.
Wow, guys, so we're going to settle at 53.2 decibels. So not only do you have fun with the exhaust when it's nice and loud, but when you put it into that comfort mode, it is going to be very quiet. And as far as where the X3 M40i falls among its competition, you will see that it is the second quietest in the segment, only to be beaten out by the 22 X3 M40i. So here's the consistency. It's still being the quietest in the segment. But if you want to see all of our sound level readings, then head to our website, carconfections.com, and head to the sound level readings tab where you can see every single car that we have tested compared to all of its competitors within its segment. You can play around with the graphs, order it, and have fun with that. I know that's something a lot of y'all have been asking for a while now, so we are here to deliver.
Now, I do also want to talk about the ride quality, because we are in an X3 after all. This is not the 3 Series, this is not, an M2. This is a family crossover. It has a lot of character to it and has a lot of performance, but at the end of the day, it's an X3. the ride quality is so good in this model. Now, since we have the M40i, we do have standard adaptive dampers, and these dampers do a phenomenal job of changing the character of the vehicle. Right now we're in sport mode. We have a really good feel of the road. I will talk about the driving dynamics in just a second, but it really transforms it into a very sporty SUV. But in comfort mode, the ride quality is phenomenal. It's as good as a regular X3 is. When you hit a bump, you don't feel it at all. But we're about to go around a corner, so let's talk about the steering on this X3. Yeah. BMWs are known for their phenomenal steering, and that is going to be the case with this X3. Even though it does have that comfort side, it just really comes alive. The steering is incredibly quick responding. There's no dead spots whatsoever. I have no complaints with the way this vehicle drives. It is a performance vehicle.
And honestly, guys, that's what we're going to declare as the slam dunk for the X3 M40i today, is going to be that dual character that you can really get. You have this incredible powertrain under the hood, and as you're about to see with the fuel economy, it doesn't sacrifice much with that at all.
Yeah.
And it's just really a phenomenal car for family driving, for sport driving. It really has it all.
Yeah, and as far as our airball is concerned, it's really hard to come up with something on a vehicle as good as this, but if we had to say something, it would be the overall interior design and some of the technology. We're not in the latest version of iDrive for this X3. The gauge cluster is, you know, more normal looking as compared to like the 3 Series that has just been refreshed with the full 14.9-inch curved display setup. So it's just a little bit on the older side when it comes to the interior design of this X3. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Some of you guys might like the physical controls and stuff, but I do like the newest technology, and we're not going to have that in the X3 just yet.
And as far as that fuel economy I just mentioned, you're going to get the best performance from the 30i powertrain. With rear wheel drive, it's going to be 25 mpg combined, 24 if you go to xDrive all-wheel drive. And then for this M40i that we're in right now, it's not going to sacrifice much, like I said. It's going to be 21, 26, 23 mpg.
Yeah.
And that's thanks to that mild hybrid that we do have with this straight 6.
Yeah, and I mean, come on guys, 1 mpg is all the price you're paying for this inline 6-cylinder. I think you can sell your wife on that one. So just tell her I said so. And lastly, I want to talk about your warranty. You have BMW Signature Warranty, which is for your 50,000 miles for your basic and powertrain. BMW also throws in complimentary maintenance for 3 years, which is really nice. Mercedes and Audi do not do that, so keep that in mind. And you've seen how great this X3 is. How much is it going to cost you? Well, prices are going to start at $46,200 for the X3 rear drive model, the 30i. For all-wheel drive, $48,200, excuse me. And then if you go for the M40i, which would be my personal choice, that's going to start at $61,000. So quite a bit of a price premium for choosing the M40i model, but do keep in mind you get more standard equipment as well as that a lot more powerful engine. Now, as far as how this particular tester is equipped, we have the M40i model with a lot of options on it. All told, we're looking at $70,235 for this particular model once you add in the $995 destination charge. It's worth noting for 2023, prices are going to rise around $1,700 on all of the trim levels for the X3. And guys, that's where we're going to leave off on this in-depth review of the 2023 BMW X3 M40i. If you enjoyed watching this video or found it helpful in your purchasing decisions, we would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. By doing so, you help give us access to vehicles like this where we can sample out some amazingly crafted vehicles and show you guys on the channel first. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support because you make this all possible. Also, if you haven't had the chance to go ahead and check out our website, please go ahead and do that, www.carconfections.com. Also, follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.